I didn't make good progress in the gym, like my 30-kilo pull-ups for 6 reps until I quit social media. And it's because social media does something weird to your training that nobody really talks about. So by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly why social media is cooking your training and thus your happiness, even if you're not necessarily addicted to it, okay? And what to do instead, okay? So I'm going to go over the 3 ways social media is cooking your training and how to actually fix them, okay? And we're going to do all of this without actually quitting social media completely, okay? First off is going to be, I'm going to go over mindfulness, okay? Mindfulness. I'm going to go over dopamine. And I'm also going to go over your self-perception, okay? Perception. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. First of all is your mindfulness. I just want you to think for a second, right? At your attention, right? And obviously you're probably a young guy watching this video. And so you have your, let's say your Instagram reel, right? This is your phone, whatever. And then here's like the reel, whatever. It's some guy talking, I turned $1 into 50 cents, whatever, right? He did whatever, and you're watching this, right? And then you scroll, yeah? And then that's like another video, back to back, back to back, back to back. And you sometimes watch these videos, like here you might spend 0.5 seconds, here you might spend like 1 second, here you might spend like 5 seconds, and so on, okay? And so you spend very little time on each of these. And so what that trains your mind to do, think about it. It just trains your mind to just be better at switching context, right? Switching topic. And so this is just your brain evolving, right? It's getting better at something else, and this is how it's built, right? This is just how it's made. But the thing is that things like TikTok and Instagram have essentially like rigged this because they are like, obviously the world is different nowadays, right? We're not cavemen. And so it's rigged basically your dopamine in order to make you like sort of like get better at switching your attention, right? And how that makes it better for them is that you just keep on watching, okay? And so what we need to do instead of this, right? You're sort of training your brain to like bounce topic every 5 seconds or every like 0.5 seconds, right? What we need to do is we need to train it to do the opposite, right? We need to train to bring your attention back. And why this relates to training is because you are like, let's say you're in the middle of a set, right? You're doing, let's say like squats, okay? You're doing the squats. Let's say you're like halfway through the 3rd rep. You sort of like think about something else, okay? Your attention goes somewhere else. And in return, what's going to happen is your mind-muscle connection is going to get worse, okay? Your set is going to get worse, and you're going to just do less reps, okay? I've seen this with people who are strong enough to maybe do like, I don't know, 15 reps with a certain weight, and they do like 5 because they're not actually mindful, okay? And so how we need to train mindfulness, you might have heard this before. It's literally just with meditation, okay? Now, meditation might sound kind of like complicated. Maybe you have no idea what it is, but meditation is simply the act of bringing your attention back to something you want to focus on. Okay. So right now you're training your mind to like bounce topic, right? This is what you're doing. And so what we need to do is we need to train your mind so that when you bounce the topic, you come back. Okay. And that you keep coming back whenever you bounce the topic, if that makes sense. Okay. So you just keep on bringing your mind back to whatever you're doing. Maybe that's the set of squats, and then you're able to hit 15 reps instead of 5, okay? And so how you actually meditate isn't very complicated, okay? Literally all you do, I'm going to draw it like this. I actually got this from Hamza, if you know who he is. Meditation is basically just 4 steps, okay? Here, you start the meditation and you focus on whatever, okay? You focus on maybe the breath. Right? It can actually be anything. It can be a breath. It can be your sound. But like I would just say focus on your breath since that's like the easiest thing to do. So you focus on your breath, right? You're focusing on it. You feel the breathing in and everything, right? And here you lose the focus, okay? You lose the focus. And once you lose the focus, right, you realize that you lose the focus, right? This is where many people quit. They say like meditation didn't work for me. I lost the focus. But that's literally part of the meditation, okay? And so once you realize that you lose the focus, okay, you just need to bring it back. Bring it back. And you just bring the focus back to whatever you were thinking about. Okay, it's just these 4 steps. And if you think about what you're actually doing when you do this, right? I'm going to take this context, right, of let's say a book. Okay, this is a book. These are the lines, okay? And let's say normally, let me just switch pen so you can see what I mean. Normally, you read a little bit, right? You read until here, and then boom, you lose your attention, okay? And you have to start rereading from here. Or maybe you have to reread from here, whatever. But when you meditate, right, because you've like practiced the skill of bringing your focus back to your breath or whatever it is, right? You've practiced that. You're gonna go a little bit further, right? Maybe you'll go until here, okay? Then you're gonna lose your attention and go back to here. But imagine, bro, this is a transcript with your loved ones, okay? This is a transcript with your future wife. That's where it actually gets deep, okay? And so, yes, this is like goes way further than working out. But the thing is, bro, that working out is a big part of this, and you need to sort of meditate during your workouts, if that makes sense, okay? And so you being mindful, okay, and actually focused, locked in on the workout is gonna make a huge difference, okay? Because instead of getting 5 reps, you're gonna get 15. Instead of, like maybe backing out on the second set when you had like 3 or 4 because you went and thought about something else, maybe you forgot to do the set, right? You're gonna be actually locked in, okay? So that's the first thing. This is mindfulness. It's very hard to describe if you don't actually like know what it is and how to do it, okay? And so make sure you meditate. And how I meditate is I just set a 3-minute timer in the morning, okay? Just sit there and focus on your breath. That's it. No need to use an app or anything. Just keep it easy and focus on your breath. And essentially, bro, you're gonna get so good at focusing at something so boring, right? Which is your breath. That's hella boring compared to, let's say, a set of squats, right? A set of squats has way more stimulus, right, in your brain, right? Like in terms of like dopamine and whatever. And so you're gonna get really good at focusing on something super boring. And so when you go to focus on something like your squats, it's gonna be super easy, okay? So that's the first thing, bro. I hope you could hear me. The mic was turned upside down. The first thing is mindfulness, bro. That's the first thing. Moving on then. The second thing is dopamine, okay? Now, I'm sure you've heard dopamine a lot. And I don't want to get too deep because there's a lot to talk about it. But essentially, what's happening is when you watch your Instagram reels, okay, you get a good reel, spike, right? You get a spike. But then, let's say this is your baseline, okay? This is your baseline of dopamine. This is when you're not doing anything, yeah? And so you get the spike, but then your brain wants it to come back down, okay? So what's going to happen is your brain is going to counteract it. And in order to bring it back down, it has to bring it below baseline, okay? So it's going to bring it below baseline, and then it's going to kind of do that, yeah? In order to neutralize it. That's what it wants it to do. But when you go and you watch another Instagram reel, you're going to get a bit less of a dopamine spike, okay? It's going to go only up until here, yeah? But you're going to keep on going because you don't want this to happen again, right? So once you get here, it goes like that and like that and like that and like that. And that's how it keeps you going, okay? And essentially, bro, these spikes are so high. They're so super physiologically high, right? Super physiologically just means like higher than like could happen naturally, okay? So when you go and hit your workout, right? Something that's actually supposed to be fun, you don't have fun, okay? And so it's cooked because you want to go in the gym and have fun, but your baseline is so messed up that the gym is below your baseline, okay? And so the sort of action step for this, right? The action step that I gave you in the last one was to meditate, okay? The action step for this one is to stop scrolling, okay? We're gonna just go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off, okay? What you're gonna do, if you're on Instagram, if you're on Android, this is really good. This is an actually great opportunity for you. If you're on Android, go ahead and download Firstagram. It's like on GitHub. It's like an open source app that actually allows you to like disable the scrolling, disable the stories and everything. So you just have your messaging and your own profile, right? So you can still do the basic Instagram Cope stuff. If you're on Android, this is the best one. If you are on iOS, I know you have Screen Zen. I know this one works well. Screen Zen. This is just like a time blocker type thing. It makes it also harder. And then the other thing, since I know a lot of you are also addicted to like YouTube, for YouTube, get, what's it called? Unhook. You need to get Unhook. So essentially, Unhook is just an extension, okay? So it's like a browser extension. And so you have the YouTube app on your phone right now, which you probably watch a lot of YouTube on. What you're gonna do is delete the app itself, use the browser, okay? And you're gonna get the Unhook extension on whatever browser you're on. And do the same for your computer. And that way, what Unhook does, it basically doesn't have a home page, and it doesn't have like the sidebar, it doesn't have comments or whatever. And so this is gonna feel like hard to do in the beginning. If you want to go ahead and just take a picture of these, Unhook. Yeah. Yeah, you took the picture? Okay, perfect. So, essentially, bro, since, like we said, right, if we looked at your dopamine right now, it's so messed up. Luckily, you're watching this video, which doesn't have messed up dopamine, but it's so messed up because it's going up and down, right? And so, once you quit scrolling and everything, it's going to start from down here, okay? And so that means it's going to be below baseline, which means you're going to feel horrible. And it's going to take it a while, bro, for it to come back up. It might even take a couple days because your dopamine receptors are just so cooked. But once it comes here, bro, everything is going to feel so much more enjoyable, and it's going to become way easier for you to stay on track with not scrolling and everything. And then stuff which should actually make you happy, like the gym, like socializing, those things are genuinely going to become fun for you, okay? So that's dopamine. Not the easiest one, bro, but go ahead and do those. And the other thing that I find really good is to pin the screen time widget, the screen time, to your home screen, okay? And so, you know how you have like the widgets, whatever, just put the screen time widget on the first page so that whenever you open your phone, you see your screen time, okay? So yeah, bro, that's about it for dopamine. Oh yeah, the other thing I want to go over for dopamine is your purpose, right? Because you're going to have a lot of time once you sort of quit scrolling, right? Like we said, once you get back up to baseline, you're going to feel good, right? But you're also going to have like an extra 6 hours maybe on your hands, okay? And so this is where your sort of purpose comes in life. Now, this is going to be like way deeper, and I can't really go over this quickly. So I'm going to try to do this as fast as I can. But essentially, for your purpose, okay, you need to figure out like what you really enjoy doing and just like do more of that. Like for me, for example, it's YouTube videos, right? Like I'm enjoying recording this, and I also like coach people, right? I find that super purposeful for me. And so maybe you have something like that which you could do. Okay, for one thing, you can start easily today. Is just document your journey trying to stop scrolling. You know, make a YouTube video like this and talk about like, yeah, I mean, today I tried to quit scrolling, and like the first day it was good, and I actually made a new friend. But then actually at night I scrolled a little bit, and then I deleted the app. Whatever. You just document your journey, bro, because people like to see that, bro. You don't see much unfiltered content nowadays. So try to make a purpose for yourself. Try to just get really good at something. And yeah, bro. I mean, it goes way deeper, but with all this time, you're gonna need to put it somewhere. Okay, and finding where to put it is honestly like one of the hardest things, because once you find it, bro, it's hella easy to stick to that, okay? Moving on, bro, is your self-identity. I think I called it something else in the beginning, but your self-identity is essentially how you perceive yourself, okay? Now, this is gonna be kind of like broad, kind of like wishy-washy, but let me just show you how this works, yeah? So how you behave, right? How you behave is how people are gonna like act, like how people are gonna, treat you, right? That's how people are gonna treat you. But you behaving that way comes from how you perceive yourself, okay? And then once you behave this way and people treat you this way, you're gonna get the results of that person, okay? And so if you want to get the results of, let's say, a confident guy, you know, with a good physique, you need to perceive yourself, right? This is where it begins. You need to perceive yourself as the guy who actually does that, right? But in order to perceive yourself, right, in order to behave like that, you need to sort of like have a stepping stone to that, which in my opinion is just sort of like fake it till you make it. And that's just gonna be like, do small actions until you can sort of build up the bigger actions. I'm not sure if I talked about this before, but you have here let's say you have fun, right? You have your fun here, and then you have, wait, whoops, I'm writing this in the wrong way. Hold on. So you have your fun here, okay? Then once you have fun, you're more consistent. And then once you're more consistent, you get more results. Okay? And so once you get more results, you also have more fun. Okay? And so to enter this, right, to actually become the guy who gets the good results, you need to enter from here, right? So you need to build up some like level 0 consistency. And the thing is, bro, it's gonna start off being way harder than like it should, okay? It's gonna start off, it's gonna be like that. That's gonna be, this is the difficulty, right? This is gonna be the difficulty. And then this is gonna be your results, right? In the beginning, you're not gonna get many results, but then they're gonna take off pretty quick, okay? And so this is the messed up part because the difficulty is crazy high, but you're not getting many results because you just started, okay? And so you need to stick to it past this part. And then once these cross, bro, oh my days, it feels so good. And then from there, it's pretty easy to stay consistent, okay? And so you need to essentially enter this part of this, like, this circle, whatever, the results circle. You need to enter from the consistency side by starting off small, okay? So literally just do stuff you can do and perceive yourself as the guy who can do those things. Like, imagine yourself doing them and then actually do them and then slowly build that up and you just behave like that, bro. People will treat you that way, and so you'll get the results of that person, okay? People will treat you that way, and the universe will also treat you that way, okay? Let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, bro, so, I mean, that's about it. I know you've gotten a lot of value from this video since you literally watched the end of this no dopamine video, very chill video as well. So I really appreciate that, bro, genuinely. Like, you're doing me a huge favor by watching this, and I hope a favor for yourself too. But I want to help you out even more, bro. So I have a Calendly link. That's the first call in the description where you can go ahead and book a one-to-one call. That's just absolutely free. And we'll talk about your goals, you know, maybe set up some strategy sort of for you to keep progressing and moving forward. So yeah, bro, go ahead and book a call. Below that, I also have my community, which is just my free community. You can go ahead and join that. There are weekly calls. People make posts and help each other out. It's absolutely sick. So yeah, bro, have an absolutely amazing day and keep overloading, bro.